Okay, I'm James IZ, and here on my YouTube channel, I can talk about a variety of topics that pique my interest, okay? So, I talked about the mainstream shit, which was the Donald Trump assassination, you know, like the normal YouTube shit of Cody Ko being accused of having sex with the underage Tana Mojo. But, as you can see, I am a pretty strong and built fella, so I do pay attention to the fitness or like the bodybuilding side of YouTube and everything, and yes, I am a fan of Greg Doucette here. And speaking of Greg Doucette, posting I don't know how many countless videos of the Tren Twins over the past year or two, their coach, Kyle Willicks, has responded to them. Now, I'm gonna get into his response to them later, but what triggered it, the latest video that was 20 hours ago, was the Tren Twins oiled up before GTA 6, and then the thumbnail is the Tren Twins blew it, and, you know, making it look like they lost their first bodybuilding show, which I did watch the video the other day, and I didn't think that anyone would truly respond to him, because Greg himself has said the only reason that he makes these drama videos, it's because it gets views, and so he adds in actual legitimate information within like the drama videos, but like it pisses people off that like he's basically talking shit about them, honestly, but he's given like genuine criticism, but it's like disguised as drama video, so it's like everybody within like the fitness community and everybody in like on the side of the internet looks like Greg Doucette as a fucking nunts. I do like his videos, honestly, I'm not gonna lie, but him making, let's count on how many Tren Twins videos that he has made. Okay, so this is 1, 2, 3. Okay, wait a minute. So he made 3 videos about the Tren Twins in under 1 week. Okay, so yeah, that's 3.
Riz in Ohio, it's all about Ohio. Squeeze 2 betas together and really all you'll have is Alpha, Sigma. Your missile shake your ass to heaven.
Yeah, so I count 23 videos about them. So yeah, this man Greg Doucette has made a total of 23 videos. I believe it was 23, maybe more. It might be 25 videos, but I counted 23 videos here. Like I said earlier, the catalyst was heavily criticizing them on their first bodybuilding show, which they're in their 20s. They're around the same age as me, and it's their first bodybuilding show, and he was so hypercritical of them, and he made 3 videos about them in 1 fucking week. So let's go into their coach's response, because I thought that it was crazy that like the Tren Twins' own coach, Kyle Willicks over here, had made a video specifically addressing, you know, Greg himself, honestly. So I was shocked about that, because that means that this man has a pair of nuts on him.
Coach Kyle, and today I'm here to explain what happens when you continuously poke the bear hoping that it won't bite back. I've kept my mouth quiet for many years, specifically the last few months, but today is the day I've hit my limit with you, Coach Greg. The constant false accusations, misleading information in your videos that specifically target my clients is just unacceptable, whether it's for personal gain or otherwise. So I'll start by saying, I know you know exactly who I am.
This man Kyle is making a lot of claims here, and if he can prove Coach Greg wrong, and if he can prove Greg wrong here, this video might actually be like the catalyst of canceling Coach Greg forever, and like officially getting him off of the internet, or making his reputation look bad on the internet. That's the whole goal here, I think. Or, you know what I mean?
For years now, you have consistently put out content and videos on many of my clients: Anthony Mantello, Jesse James West,
yes,
James English, Alex Eubanks, and most recently, your obsessive behavior with the Tren Twins.
I counted 23 videos. He might have made more than 23 videos about them. That is a lot. About one single, well, okay, I would say one single person, but there's 2 of them. So
times out of 10. You fail to ever mention anything about me except the passive-aggressive attacks with perhaps something they're doing that you know they're instructed to do based on my coaching practices and my style. So what's recently put me over the edge is that obsession with the Tren Twins.
Like I said, I am basically a fanboy at this time, and like I do watch both parties here. And I will say from personal experience from watching Greg's videos, I think Kyle is right. Greg never mentions anything about Kyle's coaching whatsoever. And like he only talks about himself and like on how he was coaching the Twins, on how like they're better off being coached by Greg, and doesn't say anything about Kyle. So he's actually right. He does do that.
I believe to date you have over 20-something videos with them, most recently highlighting their journey to the bodybuilding stage, one in which you swore we would never see the day. You went as far as pausing the video on your end and highlighting their private parts. In numerous segments of your video, you pause on their junk and even speak about it. Totally unacceptable, gross behavior. It's pedo-like. It's very weird.
I don't know what he's insinuating here, but it's like, I understand the content game here. That was just a joke. Like, he was just making a simple joke, like, in a video, and then Kyle thinks it's pedo-like, but the twins are in their early 20s, and so they're of age, and Greg is in his 40s, so it is like a 20-year difference, so, I mean, it is a little bit weird, but it's not really pedo-like.
The video then goes on to highlight how the Tren Twins did at their show. In the video, you consistently focus just on Chris's performance. Now, I'll be honest, Chris was not in the condition that Mike was in, but I find it particular that you constantly didn't touch on Mike's performance. He competed in light heavyweight in the open division at 186 pounds, 12 pounds under the weight cap, for those of you that might not understand what light heavyweight is, and Chris was in the classic division. So as you're critiquing these two, and as you consistently have, in a negative manner, again, always mentioning that you don't think they can stick to a diet, yada, yada, yada. So let's point out some facts about both Mike and Chris. They are not aspiring Olympian bodybuilders at this point in their life. They are very popular influencers that enjoy lifting. Just a year ago, these are just kids that lift weight in the gym, massive amounts of that, like powerlifting, eat a ton of food, specifically cookies, like I love. And that's about it. They never did cardio, didn't follow any diet. They didn't even own a food scale.
I see what's going on here. So basically, there's a difference between being an influencer and being an actual competitive bodybuilder and or powerlifter, right? See, now I do get this all the time. Whenever like I'm in the gym, people looking at me and saying, "Hey, man, you know, you look great, James. You know, do you compete or will you ever compete?" And I'm just like, no, I just like doing it. I just love doing it. That's the same mentality that the twins have and Sam Sulek as well. We just love doing it, and like, we can just make some content on it, and like we really like doing it, and we just enjoy doing it. That doesn't mean that we want to ever truly compete in bodybuilding or be on like the Olympia stage. That's what he's saying here. So he's right. He does have a point here. I get it.
So these are two kids that just enjoy going to the gym and having fun.
Yeah.
Producing content that has seemingly done very well for them as they've done quite the name for themselves.
Basically, yeah.
And the reality is,
that's why he makes videos
no
on
one, including you, thought they would ever be able to get into shape in proper condition to at least step on stage, mind you, for a first time. And the sad reality is, no matter how they placed, whether they both won the overall or not, you would still have something negative to say. Let the record state, for a first timer, both of these individuals were in pretty good shape. Clearly, they beat people. And I think in the video you also mentioned that they belong in a classic division, which anyone with an eye for bodybuilding would look at their structure and know that's not where they belong. They're open bodybuilders. They just need time to mature and put on a lot more tissue. That brings me to a question that perhaps the reason you're making all these videos, other than chasing clout, hoping to be relevant more so than you actually already were, is because you have some type of resentment because the Tren Twins left you. So now let's review why did the Tren Twins leave Coach Greg?
Like, he does bring it up all the time that Greg did once coach the Tren Twins, and he keeps saying it over and over and over again. And then, like, he usually would end off his points by bringing up his cookbook and, you know, selling his products from HTL supplements, which, I mean, that's basically most of his videos anyways. Like, he just finds a way to plug all of his shit in, but okay.
And the simple answer to that is because you couldn't get the job done. You couldn't get them to lose any weight. Now, it's easy to point the finger and say, hey, they didn't follow the diet. I gave them a diet. Part of coaching is more than just providing someone with a diet, Greg. At the very least, if you're only providing a nutritional plan, at least make it make sense. Provided them with an asinine diet and a macro total to reach for a day, aka your cookbook. The reality is, ask any high-level bodybuilder, any Olympian, they're not consuming any of that bullshit in that cookbook. You mentioned in constant videos that target my clients that the diet's not sustainable, it's not going to work. The reality is, Greg, a prep diet is not supposed to be sustainable. You are not supposed to be in a significant caloric deficit for an extended period of time, nor should one be seeking to maintain low levels of body fat for an extended period of time, as it's just unhealthy any way you slice it. They're designed and meant to take you from A to B, which is stage. Now, in this notorious cookbook, to my knowledge, are good tasting foods.
Okay, all right, yeah, so let me break down on what he just said. Okay, so he said it, very, very scientifically, and this is probably going to confuse most people here, like in the audience, okay? Greg would criticize their prep diet. Now, what it means to be on prep. It means that the twins are dieting down to lose a lot of body fat, but to still hold on and to even grow more muscle as they're losing body fat, to get lean and to be prepared and ready to stand on a bodybuilding stage, right? So that diet, in and of itself, isn't supposed to be sustainable. That's not supposed to be your normal diet. No fucking shit, Greg. So basically what I think that Kyle is getting at here is that the only reason this man Greg was criticizing their diet in the first place is so that he can find a way to sell his fucking cookbook. And this man Greg even once said that he makes like over $7 million a year from doing this shit, from not just like YouTube either, but like, selling his products and everything. So I think that's what Greg is doing at this point. He's just trying to sell his own shit here. So he'll just make some shit up like, oh yeah, like this prep diet isn't truly sustainable, but like, do you know what is sustainable? The recipes that are in my cookbook here. But it's a prep diet, so of course you're not supposed to be on that, a year round for like the rest of your life. Of course it's not sustainable.
Full of crap ingredients generally. And the reality is, you can make great tasting food with quality ingredients if you take the time to do so. So all of these low calorie items that you promote, the reality is many of them are not good for a prep. They're not going to be beneficial. They just make someone's prep take a lot longer. If you actually coach competitors to the stage the way you claim to, you would have anecdotal evidence as well that proves every time we take out this junk and these low sugar, low calorie things, weight pours right off. Now, getting back to your experience coaching the Tren Twins, I'll also point out you failed to review their lab work in any type of detail. And for their age, their lab work really wasn't the best. Now, I understand perhaps that's not your forte in reviewing lab work, and perhaps you need to become more well-versed. But the reality is, if you're going to continue to coach, perhaps that's something you would look into doing before advising and telling someone what to and what not to take. So let's move into your coaching of other clients. I was reviewing your prices. I was interested in perhaps having Coach Greg coach Kyle. And I looked at your prices. $15,000 for 3 months. 3 times my full year rate. More than that. So it leads me to a question. Do you actually have any clients? And the reason for that question is because anytime of the videos I do come across, you're always just alluding to one client that you had that did very well, Ian Bayer. And the reality is, Ian is a genetic anomaly who has a killer work ethic, a champion mindset, and is a great person. Hi, Ian. And since he departed, he's only gotten better. So let's just be honest here. Your cookbook wasn't the reason Ian was in shape. Ian is always in shape. He always will be in shape, even when he's retired. So if you need any inquiries, I'll gladly send some your way. But your prices, they may need to come down a little bit.
$15,000 just to be coached by Coach G for 3 months. For 3 fucking months, $15,000. Is that actually real? Hold up, I'm gonna actually take the time to even look at this. Hold up. Alright, so a custom training program is $400. A phone consultation is $500 to speak to Coach Greg for 20 minutes. A custom program for diet and training, $997, so $1,000, and $15,000 for coaching packages for diet training or for supplement for 3 months. Okay, so what about 6? Okay, so for 1 year it's $39,000 to be coached by a fucking manlet. I'm even looking at like his link tree here, and he's sponsored by this company named Transcend that sells peptides and HRT. see. But yet, this man was criticizing other creators and other influencers for being sponsored and promoting peptides and steroids from Research Chem as well. So it's a little bit hypocritical, don't you think there, Coach Greg? Okay, but whatever.
Moving on, you have a recent supplement line. I can't think of the name, but all I will say is please don't get me started on those supplements. I'll leave it at that. So in conclusion, I'm not here to come to the rescue of...
Okay, I mean, like, Kyle is, you know, good mates here with the Twins too, and they just launched their feral supplements as well, so, and apparently their pre-workout shits on Coach Greg's pre-workout, and I'm pretty sure Kyle can even dismantle his entire supplement line as well. Okay.
The Tren Twins or any of my other clients. I'm simply here to let Coach Greg know to stop providing misleading information about my dieting tactics that clearly work. My results speak for themselves, and I don't see anything coming on your end. So I'll accept the apology if you want, and you're kind enough. You could even send me one of your harder than last time tank tops, or if I'm lucky, the cookbook. That would be really a pleasure to have. So until next time, I'm out.
Okay, alright, well that was Coach Kyle Willick. So, I guess that would conclude my video here about the potential cancellation of Greg Doucette here. Everybody will probably forget about this by, I would say, like the end of next week maybe, I don't even know. But if Greg does decide to make a video on it, then he will decide to make a video on it. Yeah, so my video's over. Like and subscribe, do all that fancy stuff. But before I go, I wanted to say that I was originally gonna make a video today about President Biden did like a 360 interview with Speedy, or like with Complex here. Now, I don't know who Speedy is, and I don't know anyone else who watches Complex. The only thing that I watched back in the day from Complex was like their sneaker shopping videos, which they still do. I used to watch those videos when I was a kid, basically, right? And I think it's only children that give a flying about what celebrities, what they wear on their feet or some shit, bro, because I don't give a about sneaker shopping. So if they had dropped a sneaker shopping video with Joe Biden, I might have watched it. But I mean, it probably still would have been just as PR heavily edited by his PR team, just like this 360 interview, because it was boring as fuck and he was talking about nothing, and he was basically lying about the reason of inflation wasn't his fault, which it was. Anyways, I'm done here. Bye.